And we're back. What's up, Grayson?
Yo, what up?
Not much. No Brandon here this week. He is not feeling well, so
Out on assignment.
out on assignment, being sick at home. So not COVID though. It's not COVID.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Well,
That's what I said.
We are a hot spot right now for it.
Hey, hopefully it's not COVID. I guess nothing's 100%, but I don't think so. Brandon's vaccinated, already had it once, so
Yeah,
he should be
good.
fine.
Yeah,
so.
he should be perfectly all right.
But good stuff. Going to be a pretty good episode, though. Let's go ahead and roll the intro music. Get it going.
Let's do it.
Hey, feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flick up. Feel I'm in the mood for a change up. I leave the city and return with my change up. They got amnesia, don't remember how they played us. They wanna knock me down, but somehow I just stay up. Look.
Critically Unacclaimed Podcast. This is the 29th installment.
Best damn podcast no one listens to.
It is. So, my name's Tyler, by the way. This
great.
is Greyson,
Yo, what's going on?
producer and co-host today. But, yeah, man, like, crazy week. Like, did you see that article that I sent you about the, in Dubai, them using
did.
drones to make it rain?
It was kind of wild. So the Dubai government has started to use drones to zap their clouds with electrical currents, and it makes the drops bigger so they don't evaporate by the time they hit the ground.
It's fucking ridiculous.
And they're doing it to reduce the temperature because it gets like 120 degrees over there, so that's a little miserable. So like, you know what would cool us off? Some rain.
Dude, it's...
Which is seems better than the previous method of seeding the clouds with aluminum. Do you remember they used to do that in like 60s and 70s? They could
to force it to rain?
Yeah, they would drop like small like fine particles of like aluminum sulfate or some type of like metal into the cloud,
Really?
which would bond with the water, making it heavier, and then it would force it to rain. But then all those aluminum sulfides are not necessarily good for
The ground or anything
or
else?
anything else.
No, I did not know about that, but that's very interesting. I thought this was super interesting. It's like, damn, like we're already like how like we're trying to control the weather. Like, I mean, like how much longer is it going to be until there's weather, controlling devices? Like,
Right. Well, since we don't want to do anything to change how global warming,
maybe
or
that's the next
climate
step.
change is going on, we're
Yeah.
just gonna terraform.
Yeah, we're just like, say fuck it. Like, we're still going to drive like, big gas guzzling
And it
trucks.
was a diesel powered drone.
And
it was an
probably
electric
it was solar electric,
Yeah.
and it was completely green. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was
But,
it was 100% electric.
Yeah, I'm sure it was because it was using electricity to make that thing work. So probably not. It probably ran on jet fuel or something. I don't know. But I mean, yeah, like they're just gonna end up just controlling the weather. Like if you can do that, like what then what does it matter?
Well, we'll have to see how if it's worth the return on investment of like it would. I think they can do that because they have the cloud coverage. I think there might be areas of like hard-stricken drought that they just don't have the moisture in the air. Maybe.
What if you terraform the Sahara Desert? I actually watched a video about this. Actually, funny, I asked that question, Grayson. They were talking about how some of the sands from the desert get blowed all the way across, like all the way to America and all the way to Mexico, and that actually is part of topsoil for some of these places.
Fascinating.
And that goes into their topsoil. I was like, that's crazy. But yeah, so I guess if the Sahara
the desert.
yeah, is it the Sahara?
Mm-hmm, that's the big one in Africa.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The Sahara, if it actually gets terraformed and like becomes like a tropical region or something, then it would probably cause like
Some soil
South
issues.
America and stuff to become a desert itself. Like it would end up
that's
being a
interesting.
desert.
No, because I have read about that. Like, there's been big sandstorms in the Middle East or Sahara Africa. That the sands and dust do get all over the place, like all over the earth.
I guess it's just a natural thing that the winds just pick stuff up and then like just little like sand particles,
Right.
Like from the desert, because like
Kind of like last week, it was kind of like hazy around here. It's because of the wildfires out in
how it blow
the
that
west.
smoke
Yeah.
and the ash and stuff all the way down through here. It's the same thing, and it like the Sahara Desert is also massive. It's so much bigger
Right.
than what you really even couldn't really understand. You know, it's bigger than Texas,
Right.
And like that's, I mean, it is huge.
It's a huge landmass. Like
huge landmass.
It's probably. Is it the size of America? Let's pull up. What's the size of the
I
Sahara
think
Desert?
it's not quite the size of America, but it's very large, like very large.
Yeah, no, it's.
And when you have just that much dirt in a place like that, like I mean, it has it's a factor. It just existing affects everything around it.
It is almost as large as America. It is 0.96 times as big as America. So it is 96% the size of America.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, that's huge. A giant desert.
That's a giant desert, man. A giant desert. Anyway, I don't know. That's crazy shit. Like.
Speaking of the Sahara Desert, there's been some other interesting, like history things where they've talked about potential civilizations being buried underneath the sands of the Sahara Desert, just because
Atlantis is one of them, right?
In like ancient times, like back in the Ice Age, it was a tropical area, like it was more inhabitable than it is now, and then.
Don't they say that Antarctica was probably a tropical zone at one time too? Probably kind of the same thing, has a possibility for more life. It could prove that like the human existence has been around longer than what we know.
Think.
I know that in the movie, the Aquaman movie, they talk about going to the desert, and but that's actually a real theory. It's been around for a long time. They took that and put that in the movie, but it's actually a real theory.
It's crazy to think how like in that term, like how do things get places in the earth? Like thinking what was once a desert was a forest, and what could have been there. I was reading about like gold, how people find gold all throughout the places. So you can find gold in Missouri, and it's left over from the ice age glaciers.
Yeah,
so when the glaciers melted,
they moved.
It brought gold down.
Yeah,
and
because they was slide. That's how Kansas and stuff is so flat. Is it was smoothed out by these glaciers that were sliding down.
And that is just insane to me.
Yeah.
That long ago left particle, and like it's not worth mining gold in Missouri, but that is where Missouri gold would come from if you find any in.
That's crazy.
Which is insane.
I guess gold is really, there's not a whole lot in Missouri, like you're saying, but it's all over the world. Like I mean, it's just a part of just there's no rhyme or reason to where it's at. It makes a little bit more sense in certain areas, but there's in a random spot it will just be some gold.
The amount of gold that exists on the planet Earth could fill 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools. That is how much gold there is on planet Earth, roughly. Like that's the estimate. So I think that's an interesting finite amount of gold that exists.
Now say that again.
So 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools filled with gold.
That's all that's left.
That exists on planet Earth. Like gold doesn't really you can dispose of it, but it like evaporates. Like it exists in another form.
But man, dude. I've been to Fort Knox, and there's a lot of gold.
There's
there,
a lot of, but
and it seems like it would fill over 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools.
It will not. Olympic-sized swimming pools.
I guess that is a lot. They're pretty fucking massive.
I think they're like 20 feet deep or more because they do
the
high dives.
They are deeper than that because of the high dive. I think. Yeah, I think they might be 50 foot.
Also, on the top of gold, like when gold veins exist, when you find them in geology, what has happened is water in underneath the Earth's crust has gotten so hot that it's melted down quartz and gold into a liquid, and then forces out because of the pressure and forces itself into rocks, and then resolidifies into crystal and gold.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Dude, I've been watching some stuff on YouTube where they found crystals and stuff, like how they're digging those out.
Right.
Those are fucking weird. How they pull out, they'll just find a rock, and then they'll crack that thing open, and inside will be 2 massive geodes,
right,
of emeralds or sapphires or something, and it's just like, damn, it's like no wonder these things are hard to fucking find.
Right, they just look like a regular rock, and you have to know what you're looking for, what type of rock it's around, and then you have that understanding of that geological process makes that type of crystal.
And again, you could find those almost anywhere. Like there's some kind of geode. It may not be a sapphire or something or rubies or something that's valuable, but you could find that shit anywhere.
Right. There's lots of quartz in Missouri.
There is a lot of quartz, a lot of crystal and stuff in Missouri. Yeah,
I've been on some YouTube tangents of a gold prospector. Dan Hurd is his name on YouTube if you're interested.
I've seen this guy. Yeah.
No, I love him. He's so fascinating. I love watching his like panning for gold and like looking for like gemstones, and it's just interesting the way that he looks at the land, because it's looking for minerals and gems and rocks and interesting things like that I don't ever think about. So it's cool to see him.
That is pretty. It's interesting stuff, like what he's doing. I don't know. I've watched it a few times. I kind of like, I'll get into watching like something like that. I'll watch it 2 or 3 times, and then every once in a while, a video would just pop up on my thing, like kind of in that. Thing.
I've only been like, I've been pretty religious about it here recently, but it'll definitely fall to the wayside. Like I like YouTube restoration videos. Those are the ones that like I'll watch every now and again. Someone will be like taking something apart and restoring it. I
watch a lot of car videos on YouTube, but man, this reminds me, Grace, and we were just watching earlier about the movies that made us.
Yeah.
And I was sitting here thinking about renting movies. And like how that was so much fun as a kid, is like going to a movie store, renting movies.
Right, especially like me and you, like we had to drive into town to go to the video store.
Yeah, because I lived in BFE fucking Missouri here.
I grew up in rural Arkansas, so it was like a 15-minute trek to town.
Yeah.
But like we were like, okay, load up. It's Friday night. We're going to the old Vision Video.
I went to, there's a Hollywood Hits in Buffalo is where I always used to go. There was no there's no Blockbuster and shit. Like Blockbuster didn't come to like where I was, which Lebanon had the Blockbuster. That was where I would rent from Blockbuster, was Lebanon. But that didn't come till late 90s, early 2000s probably.
Mm-hmm.
So
now that was such a fun experience, like perusing the movie aisles, and like
you got the punch card so you can get a free one.
Right. And like we were kind of talking about it earlier, like we would usually like rent those old reliables, those classics that we can depend on, and then like try something new.
Dude, because it was like, you know, you get like, I was like, there's like a deal that you would get. Like, there was like 3 movies for 3 days for $5. And it was like, cool. So I would always try to get like a couple new movies that I haven't seen. Hopefully they were good. But I would always try to get like a classic that I knew was going to be good, that I knew I would enjoy. And I could just like, if the other 2 movies sucked,
at least you had that one.
I could watch these for 2 movies, because I didn't have cable or satellite. So like whenever I got these 3 movies, I would watch them 2 or 3 times, and like a piece in these 3 days. Like it was like, that's what I watched.
Or like getting that new release on a Friday, and then like you watch it Friday night, and then you wake up and watch it Friday morning,
Saturday morning,
and then watch it Sunday before you take it back.
Yeah, and watch it Sunday before you take it back. That's right, man. Like you gotta
maximize.
I would try to watch all like 2 Friday night, and then watch those again on Saturday, and then watch the new one Saturday night, and then probably watch like another one after, like my favorite one after it, and then watch another one usually Sunday morning, like what you're talking about, like or Sunday afternoon if there wasn't a Chiefs game on. Like that's what it was. And then like my mom, she worked in town, so she would always drop the movies back off, and you know, on Monday morning, so they were there.
We used to get pretty bad late fees. That was one thing that we were...
Dude, that was the racket of movie stores.
We were like the family known for the late fees. We probably kept that Vision Video in business just because of all our late fees.
Dude, it used to make my mom so mad, because she would have the movies, and then she'd get there, and then she'd bring them back home, and I'd always watch them again.
Right.
Yeah, be like, oh, we'll watch this one again then, and get our monies out of it.
Yeah, we're paying for it. We're paying the dollar late fee.
Hopefully it wasn't. Dude, sometimes it's like $2 or $3, like full price. Like
when we moved to Springfield and started going to Blockbuster, like our late fees were unreasonable.
Yeah,
like, they started to get like we're paying the same price in late fees. We need to just start bringing these back.
Yeah, just like, or buying them. Like it was like, damn, like, you know, we ended up having this movie for 6 days over the deal price, and so it's like ended up being like $14.
Right.
And like maybe movie stores aren't a good thing to come back. Like I was trying to be real nostalgia with it here because I miss going into them. You know, but the fees were outrageous.
We have changed how we own media anymore. Like I don't care about.
I don't either.
Like. I just want to watch the thing, so I hope that it's available online. And if it's not on one of the streaming services that I have, I just probably won't watch it.
And the other thing is, too, is like you have the movies. How often do you watch movies that you own?
Seldom.
It's like, again, I guess it's just a different in time, difference in time. Is like back, I didn't have cable growing up, lived in the country. I would watch the same movies over and over again. And so when I got older, I made it a priority to have a bunch of DVDs and Blu-rays.
Right.
And you can see I do. I have probably 200 over there. And it's just like...
and there's so many movies that I've bought over the years, like, oh, I really like that movie, and then I bought it because I really liked the movie, and then I never ever watched it.
I only watch those movies if there's like one that I've been wanting to watch that is not on a streaming service, which is very rarely.
Very rarely.
There's usually, I have enough streaming services that I can usually find the one that I want to watch, and it's in digital 4K, which is even better than watching it on Blu-ray or DVD.
Right.
And
I understand, like, some of my anime friends out there, like, sure, you can't find some of those animes on a streaming service, so I get it, owning those. And there's still like a handful of things that you're just never ever probably going to be able to find on a streaming service, so I get it if you own some of those special collector edition type things.
Yeah, some of those more rare movies or movies that you just really enjoy. Like, I think there's something to say about if you really like it, owning it. That way you always can watch it, like, right? Like, anytime you want. But it's like, I got movies over there that I'll never watch. I like Juno. Like, like I'll watch it, but only if I see it on Netflix and I want to check it out or something. It's a good movie. Juno is a great movie. But when are you
going to pop that in your DVD player? And
probably never.
Right.
Like, I'll never do that. I'll never watch that movie probably out of DVD ever again. And I want to sell them. I've been wanting to sell a lot of my DVDs and stuff because they're just taking up a lot of space.
I took the majority of mine up to Entertain Mart and got rid of them. I got like $20 for it.
Really?
Yeah, it was kind of upsetting.
I'm wondering if I take I'd like to keep probably the Blu-rays and just sell the DVDs. So I'm wondering what I'd be able to get out of them. The crazy thing is I bought a lot of them in Entertain Mart, so I don't know if they'll give me a ton of money for them. But
it's weird. There's some rare DVDs that exist, so you might have a rare one.
Dude,
and
that's no shit. I used to follow some YouTubers.
Entertain Mart will pay you okay money for...
Yeah, because if they're rare, they will. They'll give you good money.
Because there's been a few times, like my wife there for a little while was looking for the movie Drop Dead Gorgeous, which was a rare DVD for a while. I think they've started to reprint it. But the person at Entertain Mart's like, yeah, sure, let me look at if we have it. And then they looked it up. They're like, this is $90 on eBay. Like, what is up with this DVDs? Like, they didn't make as many of them, or it's harder to find now.
That's the truth. And one of the things that I've noticed too with the more and more streaming services, everybody coming out, like Paramount, all these places like having their own HBO, which is basically Warner Brothers streaming service, right? One of the things that they're saying that's hard to come by is the animated DVDs, like the Batmans and stuff like that. They're in less print, and those could be worth something.
Right. Some of those Batman's ones you got might be.
They're kind of more rare. Also, series is on DVD. If you have a series on Blu-ray or DVD, those could be actually worth something because they don't put them out anymore. A lot of times they just drop them on Netflix, right? Because nobody's buying them on there. If they're going on Netflix,
if you don't have an internet connection as well, you
want the DVD.
You want the DVD,
and so it's not that they don't make them; they make limited amounts of them.
Right.
So, but I only watch I literally only watch a DVD if my power goes out, which will happen about every twice every 2 years or so. Like, they'll be without power one evening for 3 or 4 hours, and it's like what are you gonna do? Well, got some power on the laptop while watching a movie,
right?
And that'd hopefully get us through.
Dink on your phone,
or the internet goes out or something, which could happen a lot. Then you'd be like, I guess we'll throw this in. But
yeah, that actually happened to us. We were out of internet for. It was 4 or 5 days. They had to rerun a line or something that was kind of irritating. But yeah, we watched old episodes of King of the Hill that we had on DVD.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun.
And you just DVD, put it in. I don't know. Even that is kind of crazy. I haven't done that in such a long time that it's just I don't know. I miss it. I miss going to. There was one movie store as a kid. It was in Conway, Missouri. I want to say it was called Hollywood Video. They had 50-cent one-day rentals. So you just rent a movie for 50 cents on VHSs.
That's better than Redbox.
I would go and get 3 or 4 VHSs and I would keep them for like 2 or 3 days. So I'd end up paying like like a couple dollars a piece for them, like $1 a piece. But sometimes I would just watch them. I would just like on a Saturday go rent like 3 or 4 movies. I would just sit there and watch like all Saturday afternoon, just watch like horror movies and stuff.
Right.
That's where I watched like Slumber Party Massacre, like 1, 2, and 3, and like all these like crazy like obscure movies that nobody's heard about. And it's like, I've seen that.
It's
like,
also interesting that there's the niche streaming services now, like Shudder is like strictly horror sci-fi, and there's a few more that are popping up. There's definitely some of the anime ones that are strictly anime. So it's fascinating. We killed TV channels and then we brought them all back. Brought them all back.
Well, and it's like it ain't really it kind of killed cable, right? Like cable and satellite television is super worthless anymore. Like the shit they're putting on there, I don't know who's watching it. But is anybody really watching it? Because it all ends up being on one of these streaming shows. And even like I was looking at like Paramount, like I didn't think Paramount would be that successful. Apparently, it is killer. Like I mean, I guess
have
they're
a lot of good content actually.
Well, it used to be the CBS one, and they got all the Star Trek shit and like the Picard show, which I heard was really good. They got and I watched Star Trek Discovery, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like
I need to get on that because I've heard great things about the new Star Trek.
I would watch it on this thing called Showbox. Mm-hmm. And do you know about Showbox?
I've heard of it.
So I was using it for a long time. I had it on my tablet, and basically what it was just a pirated streaming service. So they would basically
just stream. They would host.
They would rip shows, and then they would stream them, and it was done through sharing. So like, excuse me, so that you couldn't really shut them down, on what they were doing.
Right, it was probably in a foreign country.
Yeah, and so, but guess what happened?
What's that?
Disney Plus. And once Disney Plus came out, they basically shut down Showbox. They were like, hey, we let you get away with this because we didn't have no skin in the game. But now we have skin in the game, and now you're gonna bow to the mouse.
Yep, absolutely.
And I was on their Twitter. And maybe I'll try to pull it up here real quick. But what they said was basically like, Disney is putting a really lot of pressure on us about all their content.
Right.
Especially after they bought Fox. Like, they were just like, all this is ours.
Yeah.
Like, get it off your fucking shit. Like, and they were just like, they had a server breach, so it shut everything down. And they lost a couple servers. And they were like, we don't know if we're going to be able to come back. Like they were just like and I don't think they have. Let me see their last.
Yeah, you don't mess with Disney, and their legal team. Like think about that too. Disney has like the amount of money of a country, so they could have their own private intelligence company, their internet hackers, all that good stuff. So you just don't mess with them.
Yeah, they've actually removed their Twitter.
Oh, man.
So they are done.
They got the ban hammer.
They got it. They are over. So I wish I could read that tweet, but Disney took them out, and that's where I was watching like Star Trek Discovery and some of these shows, and I kind of miss it because these streaming services are so fucking expensive. And I know we've talked about it before, but before you know it, you're spending just about as much as what you were on cable. Like paying for 4 or 5 of these streaming services. I think I have HBO, Starz, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, and I think that's it. Oh, I have YouTube Music. That's the other thing I got, and then I use Brandon's Amazon Prime. Okay. So I'm pretty typed in. But me and my brother split it, and I pay for certain ones, and he pays for certain ones.
Amazon Prime has a lot of good content. They just have a terrible app. I hate browsing content on
I don't
Amazon
like it.
Prime.
I don't really like it either. They do that, I think, because they also rent movies on there, right? So sometimes you get lost and it's like, oh fuck, this one costs money.
See,
and that pisses me off.
I wouldn't even mind that. I just think it is the most unbrowsable website. It is just it's hard to find. Like breaking it down into categories is tough. Like it is not very very user friendly.
They got some really good originals on there.
Yes.
There's one that I just seen with Kate Beckinsale. I think it's called Volt or something.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really dope. The Tomorrow Ward with Chris Pratt.
I haven't watched that one yet.
I really enjoyed it.
I watched the Patriot on there. I thought that was an interesting show. I don't know. It was about
I haven't seen that.
it was about a CIA like hitman, but it was kind of like a dark comedy. So like it was him performing missions abroad and like just trying to impress his dad, who's the director of the CIA, and it was just kind of like a weird, quirky comedy.
Oh, I'm interested. It's called The Patriot?
The Patriot.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty funny. Like it was very enjoyable.
I'm super interested in the Lord of the Rings stuff that they
yeah.
have coming out. That stuff's going to be huge. So, and I mean they do a good job based off what they've seen them produce so far. I think was it Man of the High Tower on there?
Yeah,
that was awesome.
That was
I really liked
good.
it, and like so. I mean, it seems like it's quality stuff. So I'm excited to see what they do. But,
all right.
But
they do good work over there at Amazon.
There is, we did get some news, speaking of these streaming services, of some shows getting canceled.
I know. Lovecraft Country was getting canceled.
I'm just so fucking bummed out about it, dude.
How can they do that to us?
Like, what?
It left on a cliffhanger, and like I want to know what happens. Like I'm wondering if someone out there is going to pick it up.
Hulu,
but it's an expensive show.
Dude, is that what it is? Because it couldn't be that nobody liked it. Because everybody I talked to thought it was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. But I mean, everything from the music to the actors, the effects, like some of those episodes were mind blowing in the effects they were using. And do you think that's what it was? Just the cost wasn't worth it for HBO to keep going?
They probably had an okay sized audience, probably like no bigger than the Westworld.
I thought it had an 88% audience score,
but
on
like
Rotten Tomatoes.
The Westworld does not cost nearly as much money as Lovecraft Country is going to cost.
You know, I did not like Westworld as much as what I love Lovecraft Country.
Wow. I thought the first season of Westworld was phenomenal.
It was good. It was the best one by far. The rest of them kind of sucked to the point where I didn't even care to finish it.
Dang.
And I know a lot of people really like Westworld, but it just for me it didn't hit right.
It started to like lose some ground as the second season progressed. But no, Lovecraft Country I thought was really good. Like it was suspenseful and intriguing and like great special effects, great storytelling. I just don't understand
the way that they incorporated like new music and old music. Yeah. Okay. So it had a audience score of only 65 on Lovecraft Country, and an 88% average
Critical.
tomato meter, which is probably is that based off critics?
Yeah.
88% critics and then 65% audience. That's crazy. I figured more people would like it, but that kind of makes sense, I guess, on why they've only had 65% because it did cost a lot of money. So
I also think that maybe the white audience out there was not super comfortable with witnessing the Tulsa massacre firsthand.
The hardcore rate. Well, see, that was more in Watchmen.
But the Lovecraft Country shows that as well. That's what like.
Oh yeah,
it's all about.
When they go back in time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
That is all the Tulsa massacre.
But did you like Watchmen? It got canceled.
I liked Watchmen, but yeah, I didn't think that would get picked up.
I really liked it. I thought it would. Like I thought it was really good, but I don't know. I'm biased when I really like something. I think everybody does. So.
Learning about sundown towns, I think maybe people weren't super white folk probably were not comfortable seeing
I mean,
that.
In the climate that we live in, it's kind of a weird, weird demographic. Also, a lot of the actors in it all found new jobs at Disney.
That could be it too. Like Jonathan Majors being in Marvel now, like that's
he's King. So he's got a big role ahead of him.
I could see Disney saying you don't get to be in anything else. You get to be in Disney movie. What
is it, Agent B-15 or
Trooper
B-15?
She's also in Marvel.
Yeah, she's from Lovecraft Country.
Mahershala Ali was also in that, and he is now Blade.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So they all went to the Marvel movies. So that's why Lovecraft Country probably isn't happening.
That's crazy.
And I wonder if I can't remember the main actress. I like her as well. I forgot her name, but yeah.
She's a model. Let me pull up her name real quick. You're talking about what's her name? Jesse Smollett, is that the guy who like fake getting beat up?
That was that guy.
It's his sister, so her name is something Smollett. Yeah. Junie, Jurnee. How do you say that? Journey Smollett. That's how you say it. But yeah, that's his sister. She's actually a really good actress, by the way.
Yeah.
And she's going to be in something else. I don't know what she's got coming up. Well, here, I got to look over here.
Was it Mashallah Ali in Lovecraft Country? I thought that's who.
I don't think it is. You're thinking of his dad, right?
Yeah.
That's who. No, that's not him. Hold on one second. Let me see what she's got going on. And I'll look up his name since I'm right here. She's got Escape from Spiderhead. She was also in Birds of Prey. She played Black Canary.
Michael K. Williams is who I'm thinking of.
Yes. And he's a good actor, too. He's great. Like,
yeah, I'm wondering if... there was just I don't know why that movie did not, or why that show did not get picked up for a second season.
Abby Lee Crenshaw is the girl, the kind of the main villain. She's the model girl that I was talking about. She's awesome. She's gonna end up having a good career, I would imagine. All these people were extremely talented. That's why I'm assuming they're gonna have big careers. She's got a movie coming out called Lux Athena. Is that what it is? Yeah, Athena. And then a movie called Old coming out.
No, I'm gonna have.
No, it's called Lux Eternal. It's got a weird AE thing going on the front of it. Eterna. Lux Love. No, it's LVX. I don't know what the fuck this movie is. No, they're saying Lux Eterna up here, but the poster's LVX. I don't know what the fuck this is. This is going to be fucking weird. This would be something up your alley, Grayson.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Like, what's that one guy you were talking about? That weird...
Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Yeah, those movies are fucking weird as fuck. I want to watch them, though. I haven't watched them yet, but they look trippy as fucking hell.
They certainly are.
But... yeah, so like, any other movies or any other shows that you got canceled that you were kind of surprised on?
No, I didn't. There were a lot of shows on that list. I did not. I kind of scrolled through the ones I cared about and saw that Lovecraft Country was canceled. And I thought, man, that is just...
Loki coming back for season 2 was also the big news in the list.
Right, but man, that's exciting. But we have so many other Marvel things to get through before that. Like, I haven't even mentally prepared for Loki season
Looking
2.
through the list was the big thing that got me seeing like all these shows that were going to be picked back up from Paramount Plus.
Right.
Like the iCarly show got picked back up. There was a couple of the Star Trek shows they got popping off are all being picked back up.
I didn't watch iCarly at all as a kid, but this reboot is really... It has me interested. I hear a lot of folks talking about it.
I've heard it too, and I've heard that it's like kind of like an older adult thing where they're like talking about like hooking up with people, and like it's kind of like a How I Met Your Mother,
right? It's
more
kind
of a show than like an iCarly Nickelodeon show.
Nice. Big Mouth was renewed for 3 more seasons.
3 more seasons, like I mean that's crazy.
But... which is I'm sure they'll do fine, but I know some of like the Rick and Morty creators talked about that was one of like when they got picked up for so many episodes, they kind of got stressed out about it. And I haven't watched the newest season of Rick and Morty, but I've heard that the creators kind of have had some issues or had some trouble like keeping up with the content or keeping it up to par with what they want.
That's what I've heard, and I've also heard that they want their money, and I guess that's a big part of that struggle is they want a lot of licensing rights that Comedy Central doesn't want to give.
Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network, yeah. Which I think they're owned by the same person.
Yeah, probably. Which I could 100% see that because Rick and Morty is a cash cow, and if they don't get their contract right now to pay them for it, those show creators are not going to get paid anything over the next like 40 years of Rick and Morty's life. Because that's the thing. Like, it's going to be a syndicated show. It's going to
100%.
continue to make money over the next several
people
decades.
Are going to be wearing Rick and Morty shirts whenever we're like fucking 60 years old.
Right,
we're going to see like
absolutely.
kids rocking Rick and Morty shit.
Yeah,
like,
it's wild to think, and I think the creators understand that, and they're saying we want to get paid for this because we know what we have, we know what you're going to do with it, so just pay us and it'll all be cool.
See, here's this is a good example of just why television in general is so fucking weird to me, right? Have you heard of the show Industry that's on HBO?
No, I haven't.
I watched it. I liked it. It was good. Nowhere near as good as Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
And it got renewed for a second season.
Oh, I was kind of like looking through this list. I'm like, man, there's some really crap shows that have been renewed.
There's also Impractical Jokers. It's on its 9th fucking season and it's renewed. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They just renewed it for season 15, 16, 17, and 18. They renewed it for 4 more seasons. Are you fucking kidding me?
Dang, Ellen DeGeneres show is canceled after the 19th season.
Yeah, after that thing come out where...
Yeah, everybody didn't like it.
Yeah. Last Chance You. I just seen that. That's coming back. I thought they were canceling it, but I guess they just keep finding new coaches and new colleges to exploit. So
good work.
But good stuff. This is just so you know, we're on Rotten Tomatoes. They actually put a running list of a lot of shows that are out.
It's very comprehensive. This is great.
It's a lot of stuff. So if you're ever wondering where your favorite show is or if it's going to come back, check out Rotten Tomatoes because they do a good job of putting all this stuff out there in an easy way to view and read and kind of get a good understanding of stuff.
Have you watched that Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous on Netflix?
No, it's a
weird... Is it like
it's
four little kids?
Yeah, and it's a weird animation. It's like a real cartoony animation. I have a real problem with that. I like the more realistic stuff.
Yeah. That's my issue with the Marvel What If cartoons.
Yeah, you don't really like it?
I'm just not a big
fan.
fan.
I kind of dig it. It's okay. It looks kind of real. It's supposed to be real-ish.
I don't know.
I really like the new He-Man. I watched it today. There's only 5 episodes of it. Dude, it is phenomenal. Like,
nice.
Kevin Smith did it.
Right.
Highly recommend it. Definitely check it out. I know you're a big nerd. So, dude, Mark Hamill is in it, and he's Skeletor. Here's the crazy thing, though. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. This ain't, like a spoiler. He-Man. I guess it's called Masters of the Universe Revelation. He-Man and Skeletor disappear after the first episode, and it's like there's only 5 episodes. They're not back to the 5th, or 5th or 4th or 5th. Yeah, somewhere around there.
I might have to check it out. I do like just looking at some of the clips and trailers. It does look like a classic American animation.
It is,
which
awesome.
Is I do miss that. Like it's weird that
reminds me of the old X-Men stuff.
We talk about the Batman animated series so often, but that's like the benchmark for me for like quality American animation.
Dude, speaking of that, the other day I seen a super awesome fucking YouTube video, and it was basically it was the smartest goon in Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
And it was like, it just starts. It's like a real small clip. Like, it's like less than a minute. It's like 30 seconds or something. And the goon, like, opens the door and he's like, "Who's in here?" And it's just like Batman, like, standing there.
Right.
And he, like, looks at him and the goon, like, looks at Batman. They make eye contact. And the goon just, like, shuts the door and, like, turns around and, like, he, like, walks away and he runs into another goon. And he's like, "What was that? Did you see something?" And he goes, "Nope, not a thing." And he just keeps walking. And I was like, that guy probably saved everybody in there an ass kicking. Right. Like, that's so funny.
That's a good bit of reality too, because those henchmen have to exist. Those ones that are just like, you know what, I'm not looking to get my ass kicked today.
No, I ain't gonna get my ass kicked. Like, I don't get paid that much fucking money. Mm-hmm. Be like, are you gonna like take an ass whooping for your fucking job?
Especially from Batman. Like, you're gonna get some broken ribs, maybe some teeth knocked out. Like, it's not going to be good for you. Like, it's going to be no good at all.
I'm having microphone difficulty. Everybody's wondering. Okay, there we go. We're good.
Nice. No, but yeah, and like especially like if it's Christian Bale Batman, you might die.
Yeah, like or Ben Affleck, he might just shoot you. Like Ben Affleck carries fucking guns on his Batmobile.
Like, Batman, you crushed that guy's windpipe. Well, I didn't kill him. Him suffocated.
Yeah, him not being able to breathe air caused him to die. Not me fucking smashing his fucking throat. But that's great. But hey, I know you were saying you were looking at the Mondo had the big thing going on. Did you get your poster you wanted?
I did not. I was enraged this weekend because MondoCon was happening, which is their limited poster. They showcase it all week.
Right.
They show, and so they have an event Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And so like I see some of the Friday and Saturday or Thursday and Friday stuff, and nothing that I was super motivated to check out. I thought the WandaVision poster was really awesome. But they also had some Godzilla stuff that I thought was cool. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to spend the money. Then I see that they have a Star Wars Episode 1 poster with Darth Maul. Like, I don't know. I'll have to pull it up. And so I go to the website.
Mondo posters are fucking sick, by the way. Like,
and so I go to the website and I see that the counter is on. It's 30 seconds till the poster released. And then I wait. The page refreshes and I add the poster to my cart. I go to check out, and then when I check out, it says the poster is no longer available. Within like 30 seconds, 312 posters sold out in an instant. And that's just not cool because
those are all people.
And guess where
that bought it?
I then went
who want to hang it up.
I then went. No, they're not. They're a bunch of robots. I went to eBay, and that's where all the posters are now. And so I don't get it, and it's just I don't have any of the Star Wars ones because they've already been released, so they're super.
How much was it before?
It was $60 if you buy it
from Mondo,
and so now.
And I see the cheapest version on there was in the 120s.
Yeah, 120 is what it's selling for now on.
Ridiculous.
Which.
I got a steal off my mind. I only own one. It was a fucking steal. I don't know how I got it for so cheap, but I did. And that's probably the only reason why I own it.
And that's what's upsetting. I have like 5 I know how like in the past the game like I've been able to get them. Like it's been a thing that is possible for an average person to hit add to cart and check out and do. I've got some really good posters, ones that have sold out within the day.
It's bots. In anything that's collectible, people have come up with a way to be able to make these purchasing bots, and they get to sit there and they'll buy, even though that they're you're only limited, right? One, they have like 3 or 4 bots, all with different emails, all paid with different cards, and they load it in, bam, bam, bam. Now this guy's got 3 of them and he's selling them on eBay, right. And it happens with everything, even with Magic. Like
it kills me that
they do that shit.
They even added the add to cart feature that would prevent that from happening. But no, obviously there has been some way around it. So I don't know. I might pay $120 to buy it because I really like it and I really want a Star Wars one and I have big plans to frame it. But it's upsetting that the collectible market right now is not for the collectors. Like it's for
profiteers.
It is for profiteers.
They want to make something off the collectors, which I don't hate anybody for wanting to make money. Like that's fine. Like everybody can make money. It just sucks that the bots are the ones doing it. It's just kind of like an unfair advantage.
And I've thought about like what would it take to create a bot myself to do it, and then just buy it for me and not use it for evil. But if I'm gonna put the effort in? If
you're going to put the effort in, creating a bot, you just double that bot. You buy 2 of them, right? Like, why not? Like, we live in a capitalist society. It wasn't us who gave us these ideas, Greyson. Right. It was the world. Okay,
right. Don't hate the player,
not the game. Yeah, hate the game, not the player.
Absolutely, man. But it's unfortunate. I love Mondo posters. They're like I love Alamo Draft House. I love everything that they do. But man, I wish there was a way that they could set it up so I could be a little like I get it. Like there's times that you lose. There's times that you don't get the limited edition thing because it's limited edition. Like I get that. But man, I haven't got a Mondo poster in probably like 2 or 3 years now because of this.
Just what they do. Yeah, I've never been able to buy one off the site. They've ever since you're the one who got me interested in them back in a long time ago. It was like 5 or 6 years ago. Right. And I actually bought that one right away off eBay because I was doing a lot of buying and selling of comic books on eBay back then. And I was like, oh, this one popped up, and it's a Lord of the Rings like 3rd edition variant. And it's supposed to be, I think, of the first trilogy. I think it incorporates something of the first trilogy. Yep. But
it's a great. That's what's awesome about like
yours is probably worth a ton. Like I don't even know.
That's why I got into them because it was a way for me to support nerd culture and invest and
just do because they are worth money. Like you get them framed, like yours are all framed and nice. Like I bet you some of those would go for $500-$600, like pretty easy.
The Roger Rabbit one, the Birds one, those are both pretty valuable.
Like
the Roger Rabbit one, just because of how old it is now, like that one's a hard one to find,
dude. And it's like one of the best ones you have. And like I'm not a huge Roger the Rabbit fan. I used to be when I was a kid, but it is the poster is so fucking sick. Yeah,
I like that one. Oh, I also like my Jurassic Park one with the Velociraptor.
Super sick. That
one's probably worth something just because Jurassic Park is so popular. Like you'll be able to find
big following. Like any of those kind of posters like that have big followings. Don't you have a Marvel one too? Black Panther?
I have a Black Panther one.
Yeah, that one's gonna be sick too. That
one's probably worth. It's not Chadwick Boseman Black Panther whatsoever, but still, it came out within that time period.
Oh, excuse me. But yeah, it is the same. Like it is his Black Panther. It's a movie for his movie.
It was
a poster from his movie, right?
Like it's a shot from the comic book.
Oh, is it? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. That's. I mean, it's still pretty sick. Like it's still really really dope. So, but right on.
I got a couple Lord of the Rings ones. I like my Lord of the Rings. I have a Hobbit one.
The Hobbit one's sick. Yeah.
And then I think it's Two Towers, the one with Frodo and the spider. I think that one I like. It's Shelob's Lair is the title of that poster.
Oh, is that the Two Towers, or is that Return of the King?
You know what? That is the point in the story that it is blended. To me, it's like 2.5 or like
it really like is. It's hard to know like where that comes from. Like I'm trying to think.
Yeah, no, I feel like because that would be crazy. Yeah, it has to be the third one. It has to be Return of the King because there's no way they're gonna like kill Frodo at the end of Two Towers and then make people wait for a year to find out.
That it's like halfway through Return of the King once they get
because you get to find out in the same movie that Frodo is not in fact dead.
Yeah, and that's also they come across the army that's coming from it starts with an M. I can't think of the name of it. It's not Moria.
Mordor? Not Mordor.
No, it's not Mordor.
Because it's where the Agmar, the Witch King of Agmar, lives.
Yes, and it's not. They're protecting Gondor.
Minas Tirith is like the good city.
It's like Minas Tirith, but it's called something else. It's like Minas Stara or I can't remember. I'm not that good with names, I guess, but yeah, like that they're coming out of there going towards
it's Minas Morgul.
Minas Morgul, yeah. There's Minas Tirith and then Minas Morgul. Yeah. And Minas Morgul is the evil place.
It's the bad one.
Yeah. Still looks cool as fuck though. It's like all green, looks like the Emerald City kind of, but and then it like the what are those flying thing called?
The Nazgul.
Nazgul, yeah. Those things are fucking terrifying, honestly.
Right. I did love that concept. It's like a weird teethy mouth, like it doesn't have a snout. It's just like
it's just like a
teeth on the end of a snake neck.
And it's like it's kind of it's creepy. It's definitely something that you don't like. You're not gonna try to ride unless you're an evil person, right, unless you're fucking crazy,
right?
Like batshit fucking crazy. But it ain't like the Eagles. Like I would try to ride an eagle. Like that would be pretty sick.
Do you know when the Amazon Lord of the Rings show is supposed to come out?
Dude,
because I've been like I feel like we've heard about it for 2 years now, and I haven't seen lick of it.
I know that it got postponed because of COVID. Like they were getting ready to start shooting, and then it got postponed. I want to say that some of the place that they're shooting, they're actually using some of the old movie sets.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So that's gonna be pretty sick. Let's look it up here.
Because that's one thing I liked about when they did the Hobbit movies, being able to see some of the early scenery of the Lord of the Rings movies, like when they encountered the cave trolls and they all turned to stone. Like that was part that you get to see later on in the Lord of the Rings movie because they have like breakfast there one day.
Where?
So remember in Lord of the Rings, they're in the woods and there's the stone cave trolls in the back and they have like a fire and it's all the hobbits hanging out before they get to Mountaintop. So in the Hobbit movies, when they encounter those...
That's one of my favorite parts of that whole movie.
Right. Those are the cave trolls that they later turn into stone, and then Frodo and the rest of the hobbits camp there later on in the Lord of the Rings movies.
I didn't realize that. Because that's where they found Sting, the Goblin Cleaver, and what's the other sword's name?
I just remember
the Foe Hammer.
The Foe Hammer, yep.
And those are I love those. I love when they find all those. I think that's so great.
I also love the Hobbit movies that they're shot in 48 frames because those action sequences look incredible. I love the Hobbit movies as much as some folks don't like them. I really, really liked all three of them.
It says here first release date's 2021. It looks like it could be a prequel. Let me see here.
Some the early history of Middle Earth.
The reason I say that is because they have Gladriel as a young woman. She's played by Morfeed Clark.
Okay.
And I've never heard of her.
Lady Galadriel is one of my favorite characters from Lord of the Rings.
And that would be a prequel, right? Not a, especially as young as what she is. It says this is what it says from Wikipedia. Timeless. An upcoming television series is being produced based off the novels of the Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. It was developed by J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay for the streaming service Amazon Prime Video, and is set in the second age of Middle Earth before the events of Lord of the Rings. Novel and films. The series is produced by Amazon Studios in cooperation with the Tolkien Estate and Trust.
Nice.
HarperCollins and New Line Cinema with Payne and McKay are serving as showrunners. What's it here have for a release date? It does still no release date. It says Prime Video late 2021 or early 2022. So there's no...
Yeah, I bet it'll be spring 2022.
No for sure thing. It says that... here we go. New Zealand government ensured the series could be produced in the country where the film trilogy was made. Production was placed on hold in March due to the COVID-19 pandemic and resumed in September.
It's also interesting. Tolkien wrote, the hobbits and the Shire are his love of the British countryside. Yeah. And then they're all shooting in New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, though. New Zealand is a beautiful place.
Seriously.
I've checked it out from fly fishing. There's some guys who fly fish there, and you know what's crazy is there's no bugs in New Zealand.
And it's so remote. There's not a ton of people out there either. There's more sheep than people.
Yeah, there's no poisonous snakes or any kind of major predators out there. I don't think the trout, the people fish for trout there. They were all introduced into these streams that had no fish,
right?
Or they had very little fish and stuff. So they
no
they were just spring fed streams all over New Zealand. So they just put a bunch of trout in there. Now these trout are fucking huge and getting massive because they eat all these they have bugs but no mosquitoes. It's just mayflies and stuff like that.
But it's good fishing too because they're probably not used to getting caught.
Super good fishing, dude. Everybody talks about how New Zealand's the mecca for fly fishing. It's like New Zealand and is for trout fishing, like Montana is. It's those two places are the epitome of where you want to be at for fishing.
I didn't realize that.
And it just I watched some of the stuff and it's just so fucking beautiful there, dude. It's you have everything from a little bit of tropical feel beaches to countryside feel to mountains to it's got a kind of like America. Except you could probably travel the whole country in 4 or 5 days,
right?
Because it's not super big. So
yeah, I'd love to go to New Zealand. That would be definitely on my list.
On my bucket list of places I want to travel to for sure. So obviously to do some fly fishing there. Still planning the trip to Denver or Colorado.
Nice. I'd like to see all the Lord of the Rings stuff still in New Zealand. That would be pretty cool. I think they have little tours that you can
100%. You can go and visit the whole Shire. They have the whole thing
I would do
still
that.
there, and it's upkept, and people keep it clean. I guess they were just hey, it's part of movie history. So the people who own it, they actually take a lot of pride in it, and they keep everything real manicured, mowed.
That's awesome.
Keep the paint up. They have all the stuff, so they just kind of keep it up and running, and you can walk through it all, see it all, and stuff.
That's cool.
It's not as cool as what it would be. It ain't you can walk into Frodo's home or Bilbo's home. just because a lot of
sure
it's
a lot
just
of, like,
like
movie
fronts.
sets. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like you open up the door and you walk in. It's just like a little room and stuff in there. I do think some of them are completed, and you could Airbnb them.
That would be sweet.
It'd be sick.
I bet they would furnish out a few of them just because, like you say, it's tourist money.
Tourist money, yep. Like, why not finish them out? So I don't think Bilbo's is one that's finished out, but it may be. I don't know. But
no, me and Chelsea went down in Eureka Springs. They have a lot of B&Bs around there, and they had like a quote unquote Hobbit style one that was like built into like the side of a hill. That was kind of cool.
Dude, I love some of these B&Bs. Like they're like tree houses.
That's exactly that. The same place in Eureka Springs. They had like treehouse B&Bs. They had a few castle B&Bs. So it was like a miniature castle you could stay in.
That'd be so sick just to stay like a night or maybe two.
It was like a 1 or 2 bedroom, had like a little living space and a kitchen. So it wasn't huge. It wasn't a real castle, but it had all those types of amenities. Like it was a lot of fun. Highly recommend. And
it seems dope.
Cheap.
Like I thought about whenever I go on my Colorado trip, I kind of wanted to stay in a B&B maybe for a couple nights, like go camping for a couple, B&B it for a couple, then go camping for a couple.
I like the B&Bs just because the Airbnb where you get a place all to yourself. You have a kitchen, a refrigerator, all that stuff, so you can buy groceries, cook a meal, and kind of save some money and have like a nice place to stay. And not just like a hotel room.
Right.
Like you get a little bit more for around the same price.
It's really good if you're staying for longer than a couple days.
And if it's more than just like me and Chelsea, like things like that. Like if I was traveling by myself, like I'd probably just get a hotel room.
Right. Like, see, for me, like the only reason I was thinking about doing it is just like I want a relaxing trip, and I want to be able to like take a really good shower,
right. And like sitting on a porch. Like there's a lot of like those types of hangs where you're just like, I just want to like look out my window and watch the day go by.
Right. Like, get some air conditioner and just like chill out.
That's not very fun to do in a hotel room. Just looking out at a parking lot.
No. And it's also like in Colorado when I'm going and I'm planning on smoking as many doobies as possible. I don't want to, I don't really want to do that in a hotel room. I'd rather do that in my own Airbnb. That'd be a lot better. Like you say, it's set on the back deck. they're also pretty damn cheap. Like you can get some of these ones that are just like
you can find them
$80.
You can find them for the same price as you can find hotel rooms.
Right. Like a hotel room in the city, $150. Cabin outside with an excellent view, $89. Right. It's like, yeah, I'll just go do that. Like I'm not in the city for anything in particular, so. Like I'm actually wanting to be more out there, so that would work perfectly.
I bet they even have like the dispensary style Airbnbs where it's
have
a full experience.
They have all sorts of like weed things, like where you can go and like just do like a
winery or a brewery.
It's 100% like that's what it is.
Tour
like
one of those facilities.
It's like a weed farm, and then you just like get to try it all out. Like
here's a sampling of our most purple of Urkels.
Right. Yeah. Like just like Like, here's something for in the morning. Here's something for in the evening.
And here's snacks.
Yeah, here's some snacks. Like, that's pretty funny. Because you would need some fucking snacks, I would imagine.
Certainly. But, now, that sounds like an experience. But you know me. I'm always looking to go on vacation. I just
Have you been to Colorado?
I have. Chelsea's dad lived in Colorado Springs for a little while.
So, I remember you saying that.
So we visited him in Colorado Springs. I also had some friends in like had friends in the Fort Collins area. They moved back to Missouri. So like I like Colorado. Like it's a cool place. It's just very expensive, and like Denver's a pain in the ass to drive in. That's
what I've heard that it's better if you go and you're just going for like the wildlife and like the camping and hiking experience.
If you're outside of the city, it's not as terrible.
Yeah, like other than that, like everything else costs so much fucking money. Like camping and hiking is actually pretty affordable because there's so much of it.
Colorado Springs was cool just because it was easy to get around with. Like it reminded me a lot of a Springfield style city where it was like sprawled out. Those types of roads are pretty manageable, like very similar to Springfield grid traffic. But it's a working class town. Like there's not a lot of like fun amenity style things to do like Denver has. Like Denver has like tons of like nightlife stuff like that, whereas Colorado Springs it's like a working class.
It's more blue collar. Blue collar.
There's a military base there, so a lot of folks are military.
So it don't have like the party atmosphere like a Kansas City Power and Light District or something. I think that's where my friend was. I think she was staying the Colorado Springs area when she was there, and I always wanted to go and hang out and visit her. She was always telling me to come up there and check it out, and I never did. Now she's moved back. So.
Yeah.
But,
there's lots of cool spots in Colorado, just where what you want to see. You can go up in the mountains. Like, there's some cool areas to stay throughout there. Driving through the mountains was kind of fun. Like, we drove from Fort Collins to the other, or not Fort Collins, Colorado Springs over to the other side of Colorado, so like the west side. So you drive through or over the mountain, and then like you wind up in the desert on the other side.
I mean, looking out the window when you're driving somewhere, like I drove to Florida. It was when I was a kid. Me and a couple buddies, we just drove out that way, drove down to New Orleans, and then drove down to Florida. And ain't it crazy? Just like, you get out there and just how the woods look different, and like things just look different.
Yep.
Like it's not the same.
That's what I like about traveling. If you tighten down that,
I haven't been to the mountains. I've never seen mountains, so that's something that I really want to do.
Yeah,
but
it's definitely a sight to see, and that's one thing. Like, scenery in Missouri is a lot different because you see the trees around you. Like, you don't see like mountains or desert. Like, there is some obstruction to the horizon.
Even Arkansas, like when you get down there and you get down these like windy roads, a lot of big hills and stuff like that, big curvy, roundy, almost like little mountainous type roads.
Right.
There, it seems like there's a lot more of those there than there are here. Like here, we blasted through those, so they're just straight lines.
It's also like,
and you get a lot of like going down to Branson. Like I've been, going down to that Santa thing. There was a lot of we traveled through there, and it's just so different how the scenery is different.
Just an hour
away from here in Springfield. It's just like so many rock cliffs and bluffs and all that stuff.
Even
out
like
there.
Driving out west to Oklahoma, like once you cross the Oklahoma border, it looks completely different.
It does look different. It's so weird. It's like, this I guess that's why they made it this land is different than this land, so this is Oklahoma.
This is the border.
Yeah,
now.
this is the border. That's Missouri. That's why that looks different. But I don't know. But it is crazy. I know we've talked about it a lot. Traveling is on my definitely agenda, and it's something that I will be doing more of here coming up. So I'm pretty stoked about it. But what is that noise? Okay, there we go.
Oh yeah, it was just that.
I guess it was my shield on there.
Your mic stand. Grinding on the microphone.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what's going on with it. It's like not wanting to tighten down, so it keeps like running away from me. That's why I kind of keep being up and down. But I think we're about ready to wrap this one up, ain't we?
I don't got nothing else.
So disaster averted. Check us out at Critically Unacclaimed on Facebook, at Unacclaimed Pod on Twitter. You can find me at Tyler Hicks on Twitter, Mr. Tyler Hicks on Instagram, Hicks OS on TikTok. Follow me on there. I don't put out a lot of content on any of those things, but definitely follow me on there. If I get more people, I might decide to. So
absolutely.
But anything else from you, Greyson?
I got nothing. Follow me on Twitter.
Brandon will be back next week. Let's take us out. Peace out, guys. Critically Unacclaimed.
Straight from the mud like Ruby. Straight to the stage, they love me. I understand they hungry, but please don't hate, that's ugly. I've been sliding, shaking, moving. I've been popping in my city. Shawty say she love the way we do it with me. I be too turned up to ever give a fuck. I ain't come to argue, let a nigga fuck. They been talking pennies, I need bigger bucks. About to catch a flight, I need to switch it up. Got that black boy joy, might do my dance on him. Take no disrespect, might put my hands on him. Hit this chicken, now she wanna marry me. But she gon' need some closure and some therapy. Came back to the city with my bank account on F. Giving rappers hell, I know they happy that I left. Hit the south in winter, I just put down my deposit. 82 degrees, I left that jacket in my closet. Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'ma flick up. Bill, I'm in the mood for a change up. I leave the city and return with my change up. They got amnesia, don't remember how they played us. They wanna knock me down, but somehow I just stay up. Hey, look, came in with the what's that? Left out with with the who she. Laying game like 2D, I been kicking shit like Bruce Lee. Margarita to the brim tip, black denim need a slim fit. Same people that I flex with be the ones that I'm in the gym with. I'm a living legend, you a dead cause, and I'm dead ass. No, I'm dead, right? Leaving early, but I'm here night. Long and short to keep the head right. Teed up out in Malibu, got sand all in my good shoes. Press a nigga with the pessimism, but I only came for the good news. I am the show that they came for, hitting the target I aim for. We been discussing the contract, just telling they get what they paid for. I am not fucking with poverty, really it started to bother me. I need the yacht with the property, that come with the view that you gotta see. Came up from the basement, hit the rooftop with a passion. Bad bitch with some good credit and a good sense for the fashion. Dope blowing with the left hand, ass gripping with the right hand. Uber share to the airport, I'ma hit you back when my flight land.
I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'ma flick up.